"How dare you touch the cake before the photos?" my mother-in-law snapped. The slap echoed across the reception hall. My 12-year-old froze. Guests gasped. Then someone said, "Wait, rewind the footage." My name is Danielle Harper, and I'm 34 years old. I'm a public school art teacher and a single mom to my daughter, Chloe, who's 12. I married into a well-off suburban family that always saw me as not quite enough. My mother-in-law, Linda, adored her son, Ethan, and made it clear I was never the woman she would have chosen for him. I wasn't rich or glamorous. I didn't come from money. I didn't wear designer dresses or talk about country clubs over brunch. I worked overtime, packed lunches at 6 a.m., and saved every spare dollar for Chloe's future. After Ethan passed away 2 years ago from a sudden illness, Linda barely hid her resentment toward me. She treated Chloe like an obligation, not a granddaughter. At family events, I felt small, like we were guests instead of family. Polite smiles, tight hugs, whispered judgments that lingered in the air like cheap perfume. But what they didn't understand was this. I might not have their last name's power, but I had something they didn't expect. And that night at the wedding, they were about to find out. If you've ever been looked down on because you didn't fit someone's idea of good enough, hit subscribe. I know what it's like to feel out of place in your own family. Tell me in the comments if you've felt that, and click hype if you believe respect isn't optional. The reception was held in a bright hall with crystal chandeliers and white roses everywhere. Ethan's younger brother, Ryan, was grinning like the world finally made sense for him. Chloe and I were invited, but it was obvious we were secondary. No seat at the main family table. We were placed near the back, close to the kitchen doors where the smell of roasted chicken and butter drifted in waves. Linda leaned close to Chloe before dinner and whispered, "Try not to embarrass us tonight." Later, as Chloe fixed her dress, Linda added, "Stand up straight, you look sloppy." I saw my daughter's shoulders stiffen. She nodded, trying so hard to be invisible. When it was time for photos with the cake, everyone gathered around the towering white masterpiece. Chloe walked near the dessert table holding her phone, probably texting her friend about how awkward she felt. Out of nowhere, Linda stormed over. "How dare you touch the cake before the photos?" she snapped. Chloe blinked. "I didn't even touch it." The slap came fast, sharp, loud. The room went silent. Someone dropped a glass. I heard it shatter. Chloe's head turned with the force. A red mark bloomed on her cheek. She froze, eyes wide, shaking. I rushed forward. "Don't you ever touch my child." Linda lifted her chin. She was stealing from the wedding. Murmurs spread instantly. A few guests nodded, like confidence equals truth. Chloe clutched my arm. I could feel her trembling through the thin fabric of her dress. The wedding coordinator stepped in, voice tight. "We do have CCTV over the dessert table." Linda smirked. "Perfect. Let's show everyone what your daughter did." The large display screen near the dance floor flickered to life, and the footage was about to play. Linda didn't hesitate. She doubled down like she'd been waiting for this moment her whole life. "She's always been trouble," she announced loudly, turning to the guests instead of me. Danielle never knew how to discipline her. Trouble? My 12-year-old who cried over stray cats and still slept with a nightlight. A few relatives leaned toward each other, whispering. I caught pieces. Well, she does need structure. Kids act out when there's no father around. Each word felt like a stone hitting my chest. I stood there, exposed, while my daughter tried to disappear behind me. Ryan pulled me aside, his smile gone, replaced with irritation. "Can you just apologize so we can move on? It's my wedding." "Apologize for what?" I asked, my voice low. "For the misunderstanding. Maybe Chloe didn't realize she crossed a boundary." crossed a boundary by standing near a cake? I looked at him then, really looked. He wasn't worried about truth. He was worried about photos, about gossip, about his perfect night staying perfect. "You want me to lie so your reception runs smoothly?" I asked. He exhaled sharply. "I just don't want drama." Drama. That's what they called humiliation when it wasn't happening to them. Across the room, Linda waved at the DJ. "Music," she ordered. "Let's not ruin this celebration." The DJ hesitated but turned the volume up slightly, like he was trying to smother the tension with bass. It didn't work. The air still felt thick, heavy, like a storm pressing down on glass. Then I saw Linda speak to one of the staff members. She pointed toward Chloe. I watched the staff nod. A minute later, a coordinator approached us. "I'm sorry," she said awkwardly. "Mrs. Linda asked that Chloe not be included in the immediate family photos until this is resolved." Chloe heard that. "Like mother, like daughter," someone muttered behind us. Chloe's fingers tightened around mine. "Mom, maybe we should just leave." For a second, I almost agreed. My chest burned, my eyes stung. I felt that old, familiar urge to shrink, to apologize for existing in their space. But then I looked at my daughter's red cheek, and something inside me went still. They thought I was powerless because I stayed quiet at dinners, because I didn't argue when they made subtle digs, because I wore simple dresses and drove an old car. They thought quiet meant weak. They were wrong. While they were busy protecting their image, I had been protecting something else, and I wasn't about to walk away now. What they didn't know was that I had spent the last year quietly documenting everything. After Ethan died, part of his life insurance was supposed to secure Chloe's education. Instead, chunks of it vanished from the joint account Linda had insisted on helping manage. At first, I blamed myself. Maybe I misread something. Maybe grief made me careless. But numbers don't lie. I started requesting records, saving emails, screenshotting transfers labeled as temporary loans. I noticed strange overlaps between missing funds and deposits into a wedding fund. I stayed silent. I took online certification courses in digital forensics at night while Chloe slept. I learned how to trace patterns, how to preserve data, how to wait. The venue's security system automatically uploaded footage to a cloud server. Because I signed Chloe in as a minor guest, I had access credentials. Linda thought I was naive. She had no idea I knew far more than she assumed. And tonight, the truth wasn't just about a cake. Across the room stood Mr. Thomas Green, the family lawyer who handled Ethan's estate. He had always treated me with respect. A month ago, I told him about the missing funds. He warned me not to confront Linda without proof. He agreed to attend the wedding quietly. When the coordinator mentioned CCTV, I saw him glance at me, a subtle nod. Linda straightened her jacket, whispering loudly, "This will finally show everyone what kind of child she's raising." She was so sure. Mr. Green stepped toward the venue manager. "Please pull the full hour of footage," he said calmly, "not just the last few minutes." Anticipation spread like static. Chloe squeezed my hand. "Trust me," I whispered. The screen lit up. There was Chloe, standing near the cake, hands at her sides, phone in one hand, not touching a thing. A murmur rippled through the crowd. Then another angle appeared, earlier that evening, Linda adjusting the cake stand. Her bracelet caught the frosting, a visible smear. She glanced around, dabbing at it with a napkin, eyes sharp and calculating. Gasps, clear this time. "That's out of context," Linda snapped. The footage kept rolling, a clip near the bar. Linda speaking to a bridesmaid. "If she acts up, I'll handle it," she said, practicing a tight smile. Then the slap. Clear, unprovoked. Chloe hadn't moved. Silence swallowed the room. Mr. Green stepped forward, voice steady. "Since we're clarifying truth tonight, perhaps we should also clarify the insurance fund withdrawals." The room shifted. "What are you talking about?" Ryan asked, staring at his mother.
Mr. Green explained the documented transfers, dates, amounts, accounts tied directly to Linda. I stepped forward, my voice calm but sharp. You called my daughter a thief, but you've been taking from her future. Linda opened her mouth, then closed it. Her confidence cracked. Guests lifted their phones. Whispers turned into stunned disbelief. Ryan looked at her differently now. Not proud, not certain. The humiliation she planned for Chloe came back full force, landing squarely on her own shoulders. We left the reception early, but not in shame. Outside, under the cool night air, a few guests approached me. They apologized. Some avoided eye contact. Ryan muttered that he would look into everything. Mr. Green assured me legal action was possible. A week later, formal investigations began. Linda's social circle grew quiet. Invitations stopped. Questions started. Chloe went back to school with her head high. The red mark faded, but her strength didn't. I told her, never let someone rewrite your truth. For years, I shrank myself to keep peace. I thought silence was survival. Now I know better. They assumed I was weak because I was quiet. They forgot quiet people observe, and when we finally speak, it matters. If you've ever watched someone publicly humiliate your child or you and felt powerless, I see you. Have you ever been embarrassed in front of a crowd by someone who thought they would get away with it? Share your story in the comments. Subscribe if you believe the truth always surfaces. Click hype to help this story reach others who need it. Did this story hit home? Let me know by liking the video and sharing your thoughts in the comments. Click hype to help this story find others who have felt the same way. Your support makes a huge difference.